Hi guys, and welcome back to this tutorial. Again, in the previous section we were starting to create a counter, and again we have managed to display the value of the time on screen in the console window. However, we were displaying the decimals. So in this section what we will do is look at the time and again try to extract from it the seconds and the minutes as well. So in this update function here, we're going to create two variables of type integer. The first will be for seconds, and the second one will be for minutes. Again, I can declare two variables on the same line here. Now, what is this warning about? Yeah, that's okay, because they're not used yet, so I just need to make sure that I use them, which is fine. So again, I'm going to say that seconds equals int of time. So again, what I'm doing here, I'm just casting the variable time, which is a float, into an integer so that it can be saved into the variable called seconds. That's done. And again, I'm going to say minutes equals int of time divided by 60, because again we have 60 seconds per minute. Okay, and the last thing I will do is again display the time. So again, before the columns there, I'm going to say minutes, and followed by so plus, followed by seconds. Okay, and done. All right. So again, here we define the time. So again, if the time is again 60, I'm going to have 60 seconds. Now we might run into a problem, but I will show that to you a little bit later. Okay, so again, I'm going to save this to see, and yes, so let's save that. Let's go back to Unity and see how this works. So again, if I clear this message and play my scene, you should see that the seconds will increase, so every second basically. So again, we should see in the console window here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it seems to be working. Now the only thing is, again, I just want to show you what happens here. So if I go to 55, we might run into a problem, and we'll see that in a few seconds. So again, if I put a time at 55 to start with, go back to Unity and clear again this code, these messages. Okay, so again that should clear, and play my scene. So it's going to go from 55 onwards, but after that we're going to have a slight issue. So again 56, 7, 8, 9, and again 60, 61. So again, we don't want this to happen, right? You can see that here the time, the number of seconds, is going beyond 60, and what we want is that whenever it reaches 60, but it basically should be back to 0. All right, so again, what we will do in this case is use what is called a modulo operator. So again here I'm going to say define percentage 60. So the modulo basically will give you the reminder from a division from 60. Okay, so again, let's try again with this. So again, if I save my code here and go back to Unity, again, it's going to take a few seconds to compile. And if I play my scene, we should see that when we reach 60, basically 60 by 60 is 1, but there is 0 left. Therefore, we should switch back to 0 again for a second. So again, if I clear my screen and play my scene, you should see that when it reaches 60, the second should be back to 0, whereas the actually minute should be increased by 1. That's it. Okay, so that works perfectly now. So again, 1, 3, 4. Okay, so again, in this section we've managed to display the time, which is initially a float. We've also learned to cast float into ints using the casting sign. So again, to cast, you put the type here on the left within round brackets, and then the actual variable on the right hand side. So again, we created two variables called seconds and minutes that were integers and that were obtained by dividing the time by 60, and again the remainder is saved in the variable called seconds using the modulo operator, and then we have basically managed to display those two. So This seems to work relatively well. The only thing, it would be great to display this information on screen as opposed to in the console window. So in the next section, what we will do is create a user interface whereby we'll be able to display the time on screen.